Yo, what's going on, guys? Matt here, and today I want to do a video for a subscriber. I got a comment a couple days ago asking if I could give tips on how to fish a drop shot in 10 foot of water or less. Now for this technique, I'm pretty much going to fish it the exact same I do deep water and stuff like that. Just depends on where these fish are going to be hanging out. Now I'm sitting in about 8 foot of water right now. On the deeper, I'll show it right here on the top of the screen right here, what I'm marking right here. Now you can see these fish are suspended. They're about in 6.2 feet, as you guys can see right there. So you can see they're about a foot or two off the bottom, and that's going to determine on how far I want my lead or tungsten drop shot weight from my bait. Right here I got a little over a foot from the weight to the bait, and that's what's going to determine it. I just got to see what the fish exactly want. Now if they're going to be higher in the water column, you can lengthen this up to 3-4 feet, however high you need it in the water column to be catching these fish. Now since we're in post-spawn conditions, a lot of these fish are already kind of close to the bottom, so like a foot to 2 feet for me is really good for this time of year, and a lot of times this is the length I really like it. Unless these fish are really suspended in the water column, I'll take this and lengthen it 4, 5, 6 feet, however high they're off the bottom. So that's what determines how I'm going to be fishing this bait exactly. The fish are just going to have to tell me what I want. But standard, I would definitely start off with at least a foot or two from your bait for a standard drop shot. Now hooks and baits are going to vary again. They're just going to tell you what kind of bait they really want. Since we're in post-spawn conditions, I'm using a fluke right here. This is just a normal size Zoom Super Fluke, and I'm rocking a 2-aught. This is a 2-aught VMC hook, a big old wide gap hook, so I can run this bigger bait and also get a better hookup ratio instead of those little guys. You got to be really careful. With this guy, I can set the hook really good, so when you're fishing these bigger baits, that's definitely what you're going to want to do. And then I'll fish structure and rocks like this all day long. Sorry about the jet ski noise. Drop shot, I'm going to be fishing lots of structure with it. That's like one of my main things. I normally don't just throw it in open water unless there's a school of fish. A lot of times I'm going to be working this in areas just like you would a jig or any kind of Texas rig, beaver bait, stuff like that. I'm going to be fishing this bait in the exact same areas as that. Also weight. Weight can play a factor too. Usually when you're in shallower water, you can get away with a lighter weight. I'm using a 1/4 ounce right now, which is that's like an overall size for a drop shot that I like. Unless I'm fishing really deep water and I want to get it down there, I'll switch over to 3/8 ounces. Pretty heavy for a drop shot. That's probably the heaviest I would go. Spinning tackle always I use for a drop shot. You can use bait casters too, but I definitely prefer spinning gear. And I rock Seaguar fluorocarbon. A lot of times I'll run a Brazex because I'm fishing around all these docks and boat launches and stuff like that. So I'll use like 12-pound, 10 to 12-pound. And then on my other one, where I use even smaller drop shot stuff, I use 8-pound test. A lot of times I'll just cast it out, let it hit the bottom. And with a drop shot, you don't want to hop it back like you're using a jig. You don't want to bring it back to you really fast. Basically, when you hit the bottom, you just want to shake that rod tip and just keep that bait bouncing in that one area for a while. Just keep on shaking it, let it pause for a second, shake it again, keep on shaking it there. You don't want to keep hopping it back to the boat like you're gonna pull like a craw or jig or something like that along the bottom. You're gonna want to really shake the rod tip and give that bait a lot of action down there, so it's kind of just bouncing and darting all over the place. There's one. Heck yeah. Came right off this dock. Boom! Just like that. You see, I really can set the hook with this nice 2-aught gap hook. Zoom Super Fluke right there. Now with the 2-aught hook, you're just Texas rigging it just like you would, you know, your Texas rig craws or beavers or whatever you're using. Exact same thing right there. And with this VMC, it can fully swing 360 degrees, no tangles. My favorite hook to use right there for drop shot of all time, VMC drop shot hooks. And this one is a, I believe this hook is called a power shot hook. Just you can throw bigger baits on it and get a bigger presentation while still using that drop shot technique. Why am I using a fluke? Well, like I said, the post spawn is here. So a lot of times these fish are going to be suspended in the water column or hugging the bottom. They'll be out a little deeper and they'll be feeding up on, you know, little shads, stuff like that. Even little craws. A little craw would be good to throw. But they're definitely going to be schooling up on shad, so a Zoom Super Fluke is a good option. I mentioned Zoom Super Fluke because you can pretty much find them everywhere. They're at like every local Walmart. If your Walmart has fishing items, you can pretty much find them anywhere. Or you can use whatever kind of fluke you want. I have several, but I'm just using a Zoom Super Fluke in this case. But yeah, definitely target all the structure you can find, whether they're stumps, rocks, ledges, docks, whatever you have in your water. Definitely target it with the drop shot and just shake it down there by that structure. Give the bass as long as time as they need to look at that bait.
All right, now for the rod I'm using, you guys can use what you want, but I'm gonna recommend what I use and what I like. This is a Powell Endurance. This is the 732 medium light extra fast, 7'3", 6 to 12 pound test. I'm running 12 pound Braze X on here because I'm fishing around docks. I like the extra fast tip so I can, you know, really shake that drop shot down there and really make that bait start bouncing around down there. You know, with a stiffer action rod, you're kind of just going to be pulling it straight up. You're not going to give it any of that action. So having that nice softer tip rod lets that bait go ahead and dart around down there and give it some good action. That's what I really like about it. We're in exactly 10 foot of water here too. Maybe I'll even throw it right against this bush right here. Get it right up in there. Nice and close. There's one. Yep. Just like that, guys. A little bit of structure. Put that drop shot right in there. Nice smallmouth too. Oh yeah, buddy. Hey. Heck yeah, guys. Jump in the net. See that little bush right there? He was probably just sitting right under it, waiting for an ambush. Any kind of bait. Roof of the mouth there. There we go. Nice solid fish. Structure is key when it comes to bass fishing, no matter what you're throwing. VMC hook right here. This is a 2-aught wide gap hook. Again, with the VMC, you get a whole 360 degree rotation, no tangles. So it just spins around and around and around, just like that. So it gives it nice action. Nothing stopping it. You're not going to get tangled. I really recommend using VMC hooks. That's the only ones I'll use too. I won't use any other ones. These ones are just too good. My number one area to be fishing a drop shot is definitely going to be docks. That is like my number one way to fish a drop shot for sure. I'll fish it all over the place, but when there's docks around, you know I'm going to be putting the drop shot in there. You know, I'm going to flip them with beavers and Texas rigs and stuff like that too, but you know I'm always going to have a drop shot on deck for when I'm fishing around these docks and stuff. It's just such a good bait to be throwing around these areas. Now, if you don't have docks and stuff like that, like I said, just fish what's available to you, whether it's overhanging tree limb in the water, stumps, a rock, boulder, anything like that. Any sort of cover you guys can fish the drop shot in. It doesn't matter how deep the water is. Now, honestly, say you're in like 2 foot of water, you honestly don't want to use the drop shot with a weight that's 2 feet, then your bait's just going to be at the surface. That just wouldn't make any sense. You would have to have it really low, but you shouldn't really fish a drop shot in 2 foot of water. That's just too shallow. I like anywhere from 5 foot and over, or even 4 foot. 4 foot and over is like where I'll be fishing a drop shot at. So, you know, if you're in, say, 5 foot of water, I would probably put the leader, you know, 1 foot to 2 feet off the bottom, because that way those fish are suspended, you know, in that like 3.5 foot mark. So that's right where you're going to want to have your bait be floating. So you're going to want that leader to be like 1.5 foot to 2 feet, so you're in that middle of the water column there. So the fish are going to tell you what they really want. If you know where those fish are, you can adjust the leader for the weight to how you want it. So if you're fishing in 10 foot of water, those fish are suspended in that 5-6 foot mark. You're going to want like a 4 foot leader, 4 to 5 foot leader, so your bait is sitting up right where those fish are suspended. So in my case, most of these fish are about 2 feet off the bottom. A lot of them are kind of hugging the bottom. They'll even come up for this too. So I have my leader at about probably 1.5 foot to 2 feet, somewhere in there, just because that's where these fish seem to be suspended. And then I'll kind of adjust as the fish adjust. Here's another spot I like to do. So now we're in about 9 feet of water. You can actually see the grass sticking up right here, if you guys can see it all around here. Now I'm gonna look for little pockets and openings, toss this drop shot in there, let it sink, and just shake it around in these openings, just like you would, like you want to pitch like a beaver or something in this heavy cover. Now I'm gonna use the drop shot in the same method, but not flip it into the really thick stuff. Just kind of cast it into these little openings where these bass may be just looking to ambush prey, swimming by or whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and shake it in these little grass openings here. There's one. Look at that. Oh my god. I just pulled up on this grass right here. Oh my gosh. Just explaining what I'm doing, I am shocked. Nice one too. Better one of the day. Just like that, guys. I can't believe that. Wow. Look at that, guys. Just what I'm talking about right there. Nice solid fish, corner of the mouth in this heavy grass. Again, just a little opening, easy prey. If something falls right in there, can snatch it up. That's a beautiful catch right there. You can see he's been hanging around in this grass. I do believe that's what those dark black markings are and stuff. He's a dark fish. He's been staying around in this grass and just snacking on everything that swims by. There we go. See you later, buddy. Thanks for biting. Hoping these tips are helping you guys out. That way you can actually see it in action too, and show that it is catching fish. Just dropping in these little pockets right here. Again, super shallow water. A lot of times you won't even have to shake it for long too, because they're just ready to ambush. So as soon as it gets down there, they're gonna swim out from their little grass line that they're hiding in, and they're gonna go ahead and eat it. I love fishing in grass. And guys, just don't think a drop shot is deep water. You can fish this thing as shallow as you want. Again, like 2 foot range is something I wouldn't do, but 4 foot to 10 foot shallow waters, it's killer. Especially around, you know, like I was saying, docks and grass. Wherever you want to put it, you can. But this nice heavy grass and these little pockets it has is a killer way to get some fish. Like I said, look how, I mean, this is some thick stuff right here, guys. Real thick stuff. And I'm just looking for the openings. Now, with a punch bait, obviously, you can punch right in there, punch wherever you want. But when I'm fishing this drop shot, I just want it in the little openings. There's a nice big pocket right here. Go ahead and drop it right on in there. Again, in grass and stuff like this, the PowerShot hooks by VMC, the 2/0, 1/0, you know, whatever size. They make a couple different sizes. Really good for this scenario, just because you can Texas rig it and make it weedless on this DropShot rig, so it can come through the grass really nice. Not really concerned about what gets on the weight. I'm not really too worried about that. So that can get as much grass on it as it wants. I don't care. But to be able to fish a DropShot weedless like this in some grass is awesome. Anytime you see me just jerk it, you know, pull it up, I'm just trying to rip it out of some grass I'm getting caught on. Here's a nice little pocket here with a little bit of shade on the outside of this grass. Throw it right in there. And then again, if you're used to fishing, you know, you're pretty good at it, you want to get up under these docks in the shade, get it way back in there, let it sink. A lot of times during the summer, you know, hot months, these fish are going to find the amount of shade they can find. Wherever they can find the shade, they will try to find it and get in there. So wherever you're able to get this bait, go ahead and do it. That's where you're going to find a lot of your fish.
Alright guys, I hope these tips helped out for fishing a DropShot 10 foot or less. Again, when you're fishing 10 foot or less, you just want to see where those fish are sitting in the water column, which is going to let you know how far you want your weight from your bait. So standardly, I like 1.5 to 2 feet when I'm fishing that shallow. Like standard, no matter what, is a good place to start. Now, if you know these fish are wherever they are in the water column, that's how you're gonna adjust your leader to your weight right here. So again, if you're fishing 10 foot and those fish are in the 5-6 foot range, you're gonna want a 4 to 5 foot leader on your, 4.5. That way, this bait is sitting right in that 5 foot mark where those fish are suspended, and you're going to be able to get some of those bites. So just let the fish tell you where they're going to be at. I got a deeper and I got a fish finder back there that kind of helps me determine where these fish are going to be in the water column. So lately they've been kind of hugging the bottom, about maybe 1 or 2 feet off the bottom. So that's why I have a little bit shorter leader on there to catch some of those fish. So yeah guys, I hope this helped you out. Thank you for watching. Thanks for the comment, whoever left it to make me do this video. I hope it helped you out, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Models popping bottles.